Hello and welcome back yet again to the channel. Thank you very much for retuning in, as they used to say back in the day. Now it's just all digital and you press a button and hey, I'm there for you. This one's going to be all about motor racing, fossil fuel motor racing, and where it's going to be in 3, 5, 10 years time. Is it still going to be the same as it is now? Doubt that. What's going to happen to the race circuits? Well, figure that one. If there's no fossil fuel cars to race, they're going to be electric or hydrogen or some form of other energy. So I brought this about because I drove past an old familiar haunt of mine, and I drove by and I looked at it and I thought, yeah, what's going to happen to that place? And that was near Castle Donington. So it just got me to thinking, what is going to happen with all the club racing and NASCAR and Formula One and everything else? There has to be change. There will be change. Now, I'm not saying I'm anti-motorsport, although I haven't been to watch it for probably, wow, I'm going to guess 8 years, something of that nature, maybe a bit longer. I even went to Rockingham a few times actually to watch the British style of NASCAR racing that came over, Welland Racing. Been to watch truck racing at Donington. I watched the British Touring Car Championships, and I'm going back years ago when the first 5-litre GT Mustangs were used, the Fox body chassis ones that came over from Germany. It was a race team from Germany. So I have been interested. I have watched it. I've paid, to go in and all the rest of it. And I've even done the odd event at racetracks with my old trade stand when I used to sell American car parts for a living many, many years ago. I thought, well, let's just have a look, see where we're going to go with it. Is it all going to be about electric car racing within a few years or within the decade? Or will there still be some form of motor racing from fossils? Okay, we're heading up to Castle Donington racetrack, as it used to be called. Just going past East Midlands Airport on the right hand side, give you an idea where we are. See the signs there for it. The racetrack has been here as long as I can remember. I first came up when I was in maybe early teens. Okay, this is the other entrance to the East Midlands Airport. Alright, you've seen the sign. This is where we're going to turn right for the track. Just like this idiot in front did at the last minute, as you've seen there. Nice one. So yes, season passes for 2023 at Donington Park. Superbikes down here for some strange reason. Yeah, it's a motorbike superstore now, which it never was at one time. Full throttle careers, superbike it is. On the left hand side there, this is where they sometimes bring you up to park your car for the airport. So I've got no option but to turn around here, I didn't think. Yeah, nothing down here for us. Let me just go to this next one. This is where normally the pits and paddock area is if you go straight on. And if you just look up there, I don't know if you can see this, right on there, see all them Teslas? All ready for pickup and delivery. Loads of them. Festival Republic, makes you wonder what they do as well, but hey-ho. We're recruiting for drivers like you, look. Tesla there, look. Aston Barclay, the company is who deal with all the Teslas. So, interesting. Didn't know that was up here. Is the museum still up here? No idea. There used to be a museum up here. I'm going back many years. I don't know if there is still now or not. I don't think there is. You used to go back through, let me just turn around, you'll see it. It's now called the Superbike Factory. There on the camera, look. And you used to go through there to the museum. It's obviously all gone and moved on. It was there, but hey ho, it's many, many years since I've been up here. See if I can just have a drive down the side of this track. Yeah, there's some form of racing going on today because there's a steward through that gate in PPE. I think you can see him. No, they blocked that off. You used to be able to drive down there. Just go up to this gate and have a quick gleg through. and see what is actually on today. Oh, you can hear it all now. No, can't see a damn thing. The wall's too high, so right, we will go. I'm going to get a question about that place there, I guess. I'll answer that later on. Let's just move up and have a look through this gate, see if we can see anything through here. In fact, if I get out here and I'll show you this.
Can't see anything.
No, we ain't going to get in there, are we? No, there's the Coppice Tunnel down there, folks. And there, to my left now, is an MG4. You can see that through the gate. Okay, this is looking through the gate now. There's that MG4 across there, look. See that there? That takes you down the tunnel. We call Coppice Tunnel. So yes, this is the back end of the track. And then, if I give you this, there you go. Donington Park Circuit. That's basically what it's all about. You can probably hear those cars in the background. But yeah, we've come up here on a bit of a wasted journey, but at least I've shown you a tiny bit around what is Donington Racetrack. Okay, just leaving the track now on the heading towards the A42 area. We're going to go down to the other entrance to see if we can still get in the main entrance. Where we've just been used to be the main entrance years ago, but not now. So we'll look right here and we'll go down and have a look. Well, someone's got some money on the top left hand corner there of the screen. You might see a brand new house development going on. Wow, they must have got some planning permission for that one, but hey ho, probably can't see it on the camera now. But wow, money talks, kids. Money talks. It's a multi-millionaire house. Right here on the right hand side now is the new, well, say the main entrance, which it has been for quite a few years, but we'll shoot in here. Tell me, I bet it's closed up and gated off. Right. If I get stopped, I get stopped. If I don't, I don't. There's nowhere else you can actually go. He ain't stopped me, so happy bunny. Yep. We'll check it out. He's more like a, well, he might be a steward there, I don't know. I'm just going to ask him what it is today.
He's not a steward, he's got a bloody bag on his back.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. Well, here we are. There you go. Right, we'll go back through these barriers, we'll get out of here, and that is Donington Park. Well, here we are, one day later after going up to Donington Racetrack, or Donington Park track that it's called now. Just take these glasses. A nice sunny day today here, so got the shades on. Yeah, a bit of nostalgia, which I don't normally do nostalgia. I tell you for why, because my history and past has been great, but when it comes to motoring nostalgia, I'm losing connection with it completely, obviously being into the EV side of things now, and I believe that most folk, let me just bring this seat up here, there you go, most folk who own an EV are losing connection with fossil fuel cars. So that means that the history I've got with them is slowly fading as well, because my glory, let me just put this in perspective here, my glory days of motoring And I was probably very lucky to a lot of people out there. I had a lot of big V8 cars, and I always rant about this on the channel. When everyone else was driving Ford Escorts and Vauxhall Vivas and the odd Cosworth in the early 80s, I was driving around in V8 Camaros and Ford Mustang GTs, stuff that you just did not see on English roads very often. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. I brought this up as a part of this post because it's connection. The connection between motorsport and the person that pays to go and watch it has to be there. Now, going back to what I was into and what I could connect to more than any other motorsport, because I had the V8, I had the American car, I had the power, I had the noise and the smell and the smoke and the burning rubber and everything else that goes with it, and that was NASCAR.
Kept coming down on the 31 on the back straightaway. Wasn't happy maybe with what went on in turn one, and
big impact by the 23, and you see right there Chris Buescher kind of bounces between them. Yeah. Luckily gets through, but that was a really big impact for the 23 of David Reagan. It was great to see him climb out.
NASCAR to me was the sport that I used to try and watch on television as much as possible. And if I lived in the States, I would have probably gone and watched it and paid a lot of money to go and see NASCAR, because that's where my connection was.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There was no way.
Oh, it's Kurt Busch up and over. Boyer's in it. Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremmy's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the ground.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
And I think it's the same with over here with British Touring Car Championships. That kind of drew a lot of people into it that had hot hatchbacks and Ford RS Cosworths and all the rest of it, and ST Focuses and all that. And I think they were the biggest supporters of the British Touring Car Championships because you could relate to them, like Vauxhall VXRs, etc, etc. The thing that has been relative to me over the last 4 years is this: EVs, electric vehicles. So this now brings me back round to how I perceive motorsport now and motorsport in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Let's jump forward 5 years. How is F1 going to be perceived in 5 years? How's NASCAR going to be perceived in 5 years? And I am talking the top end of motor racing here, as you know. Because already, and I stated this at the beginning, there is at least 4 forms of electric car racing that have established themselves very, very well. Extreme E and the others that I mentioned at the front of this video. They're all getting a strong following, and some big names are getting involved. It's going to be less expensive to race an electric car. There's far less parts to worry about, and it's very competitive because they all race on exactly the same spec of car. So it is more down to the driver than maybe F1 now, and even NASCAR. On the NASCAR side of things, I think there's going to be a massive change. Less and less V8 motors are being built now. Even now it's shrunk. It's 100% shrunk. Less and less V8 cars are being sold. I used to love a good old V8 and the sound of it, but you know, 18 to the gallon on a run, when I can get 130 mile equivalent out of a gallon in this, 130 to 18, where am I going to put my money? Within a decade, nobody will be making a V8 fossil fuel car anymore. So for NASCAR to continue in its present rate, they're going to have zero connection. Because as we transition over to electric cars, there's going to be less and less people owning the V8, driving the V8 with the noise, the smell and the burning rubber. Because trust me, there's going to be a massive change. This EV transition is the biggest thing to hit the motor trade in 120 years. So motor racing is 100% going to be affected. So you've got NASCAR, which will either die and stop completely without the V8 because a lot of the hardcore fans won't want to know anymore. If it goes to full electric, your good old rednecks and your good old boys in the USA who are hardcore fanatics will probably lose interest unless they drive an electric car. Again, we're back to connection. They might have to one day. F1, I do believe, will go fully electric. It will be part of what is already Formula E. I think they'll come together as a group and do something. Most racetracks will have to have chargers fitted, and they are already having chargers fitted at racetracks, so that electric cars can get involved in their own racing schedules. Let's think now. Let's forget about thinking what we have now. Let's think what we'll have in 5 years' time. Lighter, smaller batteries, far more range, faster charging. Motor racing always gave something back to the people that put in. Now, if F1 bring a design concept out that works in F1 for 2 or 3 seasons, and then it develops into its smaller version and becomes onto a street car, that's great. But that won't be happening anymore. It's not really happening a great deal now, because all the investment is going into EVs, not fossil fuel cars. So why would any big manufacturer carry on supporting fossil fuel cars and racing when they're getting nothing back for prestige and nothing back in return for development cost? Whereas they used to in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and even 90s. But I don't think they get it back now at all. So if I was looking at motor racing, I'd be looking at the electric side for the prestige, because that's where the future is, not with fossil cars. I'm saying that it will come to an end as we know it, and these electric vehicles will spearhead the future. With that in mind, I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope you've enjoyed it again. Hope it's gave you something to think about. And if you're a motor racing fan, sit back tonight and think about what I've said, and do you agree? Do you disagree? Put comments below. I'd love to hear. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Where have you been? Say it every time. You're getting used to that now. Please subscribe. Over the 800 now, last time I looked. 200 more people to get to that magic 1,000. Please give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Plenty more to come. Hope it gives you something to think about. See you later.